Hello and welcome everybody. The NABLL weekly update. I'm kind of giving a sneak peek at something we're going to talk about here in a little bit. So we've got Mike Maggio and David Mather. So Dave, we've talked quite a few times on this show. You're fairly familiar with the style of lacrosse I watch. You played in Onondaga. Mike, my first chance getting to watch your team last year at Nationals, and we were just talking about it. Wow, what a statement you guys made.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience getting up there and really kind of seeing what it's like playing outside of our league or our region. A lot of talent up there, and it was great to go against, playing the Spirit first game and then finishing off against the Wild, which are, we're considered two of the best teams in the country going into that tournament. So awesome experience and happy to be there and hoping to get back this August.
Absolutely. And Dave, how are things out west?
Good. Everett and Bremerton have had a couple games. We are kicking off the season this weekend. We have Everett 1 o'clock Pacific on Saturday and Everett Soccer Arena, and then we head out to Bremerton for a Sunday night game at 7 p.m. Should be a good one on both ends. I might be playing a little offense on Sunday night, so I'm looking forward to it.
You might be playing offense. You're getting up the floor.
I'm a goal scorer, baby.
all right, fair enough. Yeah, so I guess this is always my favorite part of all these shows. How long have the Nor'easters been a thing?
Yeah, so 2018 was our first year. We Ryan Conwell, the founder of the Nor'easters, we started with 18, 19 guys playing out of ice rink in Cambridge. Fast forward 7 years later, we are pushing 90 plus players interested. So we've actually expanded to a senior B team that we play locally in a Boston league. And we have roughly 40 guys, fighting for the top 20 spots game to game now. So it's gone a long way, and it's just complimentary to guys want to play more box around here, and it's growing so fast.
That's crazy. I mean, to be able to have that many guys, that's huge. So, yeah, I mean, when you talk about being able to sustain injuries and stuff, that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You guys kind of, so there's a league that was over there. Did you guys play in that at all beforehand, or was that just what do they call that? The Boston something.
So the Boston Box League, yeah. So we were all split up. Last year was the first year we actually put a team into that over the winter. And then we've been using it for our younger guys or guys that are playing locally during the summer. They run like sort of a college box league where we jumped in and put a team in there. So
you guys have enough like young guys that can kind of run like that?
Yeah, we have a lot of current college guys now. Our pitch has been leveraging box lacrosse to kind of help as a cross trainer for field. So guys are buying into that idea. For the older guys like me, we love having the young guys that can just run for days, get up and down. So it's always good. But we've been growing tremendously fast over the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's a huge testament to your program being able to. That's nuts to be able to have it like that. A few teams have the juniors team. We'll have to make sure you guys get into it next year and get a nice tournament for that. That'll be good. It does seem to be that most of them are out there. So I mean, you've got Paper City and Maine. 2 out of the 4. Rachel out west. That'll be on next week. We've got a bunch of junior guys coming on. Aaron Coleman in Utica. But no, there is a huge motivation. How are you looking out where you are, Dave? Is there you guys have a lot of interest with the junior stuff, or? Oh, you're muted.
Pardon me. I tried to cover up the cough like a professional, and here we are.
I do it all the time.
We haven't had a lot of juniors yet. I think both us and Everett are getting younger and younger, and there could be room for it. We're getting closer and closer to 40 guys as well, and like I said, a lot of them are juniors. So I think there's space for it. We just haven't started. And there's not a lot of places we can play. We're pretty boxed in here. We could start going up to Canada. We're trying to expand our relationship with the BC leagues next summer. But so far, haven't had the chances, maybe get them up for some senior or some junior C games, junior B games, see how it goes. We have a goalie, the second goalie, Alistair, who is junior age right now, going to the Central Washington University. So we have all we need. We just need to find a place for them to play.
Absolutely. And as we look at the undefeated teams, you guys aren't on here yet, but technically you're still undefeated.
That's correct. 0-0 is undefeated.
0-0 is undefeated. So, I mean, how the Nor'easters? I didn't realize you guys have a completely loaded division. So, you guys started 2018. You said, right?
Yep.
So since then, kind of explain the playoffs, because it seems like every team that's come out of your playoffs has been a dynamite team. I mean, how have the playoffs gone? Is it like a nail biter every year getting out of it, or has somebody just kind of been hot and ran through the tournament, or?
Yeah, so it goes year to year. Maine, Paper City, and us are usually the top three teams that are competing. Championships are always tight. They are, probably the most intense box games that we have the entire season, because everyone's showing up. Our league, balancing a summertime schedule and getting guys to commit regularly is tough. So a lot of what we have are like 2-game commitments that can play during the season, get eligible for our regionals. So we really kind of don't know what our team looks like until we hit that. And
Can-Am style, where you got 2 seasons. All of a sudden the playoffs roll around and you see the stacked roster as guys that figured out who can be where.
So we're finally at a point where we're like that. And it's competitive every year. So we learned something, every team now at this point. Maine knows us really well. We know Maine, we know Paper City, and vice versa. So it always comes down to how much chemistry we have and have we built up over the season, and ultimately who's showing up for every team is the deciding factor, I'd say.
Yeah, no, that is such a big deal. What do you guys? So, how are your practices? What do they look like? Do you guys have a very organized practice? Do you do a couple shoot arounds, Google Meets? How does this?
So, again, we're trying to keep it loose. We, ultimately, we understand that a lot of us are, young working professionals, current college players. They're committing a lot of their weekends already to.
Dave's such a magnet. I just had to throw that in there real quick.
They're committing a lot of their summertime to us, and we love that. And so we try to make sure that we're getting a good balance of structured practices. And so tonight, we'll go for an hour. We'll do, a nice warm up, more or less just to get up and down, get the goalies seeing some shots. If there's something we need to cover, we'll go over it. Things that we point out in the game that we need to address. But for the most part, it's just getting guys out there, building that team camaraderie, more or less.
Well, and it's such a different sport when it comes to anything else. Like if you play sixes or field, it bouncing off the plexiglass. You guys play on cement or turf?
We're on cement.
And that is a huge difference. I mean, Dave, as a goalie, I'm sure you noticed it as well. What's your preference?
In juniors, I played in Burnaby, so we had hardwood, which was my favorite. I liked the.
That's classy.
Yeah, it was real nice. Due West is the famous hardwood, but they don't have the cool designs like Burnaby does. Turf was fun, but you couldn't slide as much as you could. I grew up as a hockey goalie, so I like to slide on the concrete. Then the hardwood was just a little easier on the knees.
I like that. And now, what do you think about going from like you guys play on cement, then all of a sudden you're in nationals? I mean, how does that affect you guys?
Yeah. So personally, I mean, I love it because we can dive, we can slide. It's like we don't really want to fall on concrete.
It's amazing.
So we try and limit how much that happens. And it's interesting because we're sort of stuck in a tough position where we're renting out venues in New England that are ice rinks. And so we have a short window to get our season in. So concrete's really what we're limited to for the most part. So it's been always, up until 4 or 5 years ago, I've only played on turf. So to go to concrete has been an adjustment. Now I do like it a lot more. I'm definitely not diving on it where I would, on turf. So
yeah, I watched the like Allegheny. They are full time. They don't even put ice in, but it's concrete, and it's a different style surface. It just makes the game so much faster. I do it like when I first started watching it, I couldn't understand why anybody would want to play on it. But then you see, like, if you're somebody, especially on offense, and you know the way that ball moves and they can bounce it and the way it comes off that plexiglass, there's few things I think in sports that are as hard as that ball coming off the plexiglass. Next thing you know, it's in a guy's stick. And Dave can probably speak to this a little better than the rest of us. But I mean, where you're trying to process where the ball is behind you, next thing you know, somebody's ripping a shot in front of you.
Yeah, especially in the Can-Am, they get very creative over there, passing the bounce passes off the wall, whatever they can do to make it tough on us goalies.
Yeah, Jobson had a good one. Unfortunately, I'm trying to keep our highlights as short as possible, essentially, to limit, make it important. Basically, we're going to have one goal, one save at the end of the year. Who made the best? We might as well jump right into it now while we're talking about it, trying to get it to play. There it goes. So this is my personal favorite because I got to film it. Uncle Jesse DeMays with the one-handed diver going across. Plus, we got the other view of it. So I think that, for me, this is one of my favorite. I'll be interested to see how it does. I don't know how we're going to do this. If we're going to vote on it at the show, but this one jumping between the legs, that's a pretty sick shot. Jobson's running across the front here. He has one of the best fake passes. It doesn't do it justice on the video, kind of like that shot. So we've got a couple angles for him there, reaching behind his back, just throwing it between his legs. And now we get into the saves. Here's one nice sweep turnaround save. If anybody has any better views of these, like this one right here is one of my favorite just because that is a sick angle. Whoever got that shot, like, I just absolutely love that. For me, as of right now, that's my my save of the year. When it comes to angle and everything, that's just right off the glove as he spins around. Beauty.
That's awesome.
This one's nice too. Jumping back up.
Good recovery.
Slow-mo gets the arm back up and knocks it out. Big fan of that one.
Behind, ball swings up top.
Be a fan of that one.
Mario!
And this one with
Mario,
it's not impressive until you slow down and, like, you see, for me, how he picks the arm up over the ball to make sure he doesn't roll it in. It's like, oh, wait, get back here. That one kind of added a little to it. So those are mine. I'm going to put you on the spot, Mike. What are you picking for the your favorite goal out of the ones we've seen?
I got to go with the first one. Falling down, just trying to get something on net and having it go in. You can call it luck or skill, but that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, Uncle Jesse, that's my favorite as well. Dave?
A lot of PLL highlight watching going on from what I can see. That's been my favorite trip of the summer so far. Yeah, I think I'd agree with him. Just the extra effort, taking a big hit right after, gave him some bonus points for that. I'll match you there.
All right, and now I'm going to put you on the spot first for the save because you have a different appreciation for this.
I know. I think it might have been the second one in the white jersey when he made the recovery.
Comes up and
double save there is great. I love a good goal line clearance from the other two, but I think just good old fashioned getting in front of the ball wins it for me today.
Yeah, I can understand that one. And Mike?
Yeah, I'd have to go. I think it was the last one. Falling over, that goalie equipment isn't light, and to recover that quick and take away, what should be an open net is pretty athletic play right there.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm so glad I don't even remember how we ended up doing this. It was just kind of like everybody was talking, and I was like, yeah, let's try it. Should have had them last week. Unfortunately, I made them all and lost them. No idea where the file went. I had to remake them today. It was such a pain. There was some other good ones, and by all means, please send them in. We'll try to keep a running tally of who we think is the best one. So you guys starting your season, you're 3-0. It looks like you picked right up where you left off. How did you guys do roster-wise? Do you guys have a lot of changes? Are you constantly looking for guys, or do you only need a couple of guys a year to kind of keep it?
The majority of our core guys are back. We did lose a couple, not really lose. They're just not as big as commitment. We have weddings and stuff.
Everybody seems to get married this time of year. It's
Yeah.
terrible. And then when you run into this age, it's everybody's got a buddy. So like the guy that used to run the Collar City Kings, unfortunately they're not here anymore. But Justin, he had like 7 weddings, I swear, for nationals. It just never seemed to work out for him.
Yeah, so we're kind of navigating that now, and having the nationals, getting through the regionals first, making sure that's our strongest team going into that, and then ultimately thinking about a plan if we're going to Milwaukee, what that looks like too. So we did get some new guys. We signed some key players. We got a gift having Ryan Keenan join us for a couple games this year, which that's pretty awesome playing with him. He's amazing. So, we had 1 game with him so far. We have a couple more. I'm trying to get him into hopefully our regionals, but we've had across the board a lot of our guys, core guys, show up. We've had a few younger, newer guys that are going to contribute, but we definitely are deeper than we've ever been this season.
Oh, that's awesome. And it seems like the theme of box lacrosse is everybody's trying to get faster. So younger, faster, like everybody's really going for that. Dave, is that something you guys notice? So especially like your the Yetis, that's my understanding is it's a program that has a solid youth program. It like is building it from the ground up. So something we can expect. Are they starting to get to that age, or we got a couple more years?
They've really had just a couple teams through their youth program. So a large majority of them are there now. I would say they are young. They're getting closer. Although the score of game 1 didn't show at I think 34-7. I think it was like a 11-7, 11-6 game or 6-10 game at halftime, and it felt close, which was really good to see out of the Yetis. I think they're coming. For our roster, it's a weird space for me because my buddies are starting to get old. My buddies are starting to retire, and now it's the guys that I recruited or we recruited are now recruiting people, and now it doesn't so much feel like the roster that I built, but it's the roster that the guys I built are now
the
building.
team is built. It's like exactly. A self-fulfilling prophecy now. It's like, just keeps growing and just adding like the snowball.
Yeah, I think we have 10 new players this year. Maybe 11. We're in some talks with another guy. And I'm excited to see
literally half a roster. That's exciting.
Yeah, and a lot of them I haven't met, so it's exciting in a lot of different ways. The Express are really starting to show up. They've been dedicated for a long time. Practice most weeks throughout the winter.
They're still on the undefeated. They're still on the undefeated sheet. So this is I'm going to run this until we run out of undefeated teams. The Owls, again, another team like you're saying, like the Express, really making a show this year. They haven't been to nationals yet, so that's awesome.
Yeah, they're in the Southeast. Is that right?
Yeah, so it was the Charlotte. I believe the Reapers all 3 years have come out of that one.
Yeah, it'd be exciting to see. I want to dig into. Might pull it up on the side here. Dig into who they've played so far, and if they have some wins against the Reapers, that could be exciting to see.
They do, I believe, when I looked at it. I'm not. Don't quote me, but I'm like 75% sure that there was a win there for them. I'm excited for.
Who's Joe Rogan's fact checking guy? What's that
Jamie.
name again? We got
Jamie. You need young Jamie.
I 8-4 Oak City over Charlotte.
Yes. See, so I did remember. I thought I remembered seeing that when I was talking to the Gamblers guy. So another team. This is I love it. The amount that it's grown. You guys have 40 guys. That's crazy. That still blows my mind. So you guys can have like multiple. Did you have a hard time finding goalies? What was the goalie struggle like?
Michael, I think that's you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah. Sorry, he is a goalie. Yeah, Dave, was it hard for you to find your starting goalie?
So no, we're actually blessed with goalies this year. So Teddy, we have 4 goalies that we have in rotation. 3 that are playing up on our A team, and then we have 1 that's playing with the junior or the senior B team, I should say. We picked up Joe Evans. That was originally on Maine for a while. He was originally a Nor'easter back in 2018. Has been living up in Maine, but this past year he committed with us this year. So we have 3 really strong goalies that are doing a hell of a job. They're, I've, as the GM, given them full autonomy to kind of figure out how they want to play that, whether it's splitting halves, alternating games, but they are doing a great job handling that, playing however they feel is going to best benefit the club, and it's worked out so far really well.
I've heard other teams doing that. That to me just sounds crazy. I would not turn over control to the goalies. I mean, no offense, Dave. You guys are all a little crazy to begin with. So when you turn it over to you guys, I'm like, oh boy, that's kind of like, turning the asylum over to the inmates. It just doesn't sound right.
We struggled with that on our field lacrosse team actually this last year. I played with Josh Matt. He started at Denver for a bit of a senior year, and we tried to get too cute with who was the goalie when and how we're doing this during last season, and it just kind of bit us in the ass. So this year we had our preseason game against the University of Washington, and we decided then that he's starting that game, and then we rotate quarters, but I'm starting the next one, he's starting the one after that, and we took it out of our own hands basically. It was on us, but then there was pressure from outside the team on who's starting when, who's doing what, and it was just for the betterment of everybody, just to take the thinking out of it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're both adults, so you're smart enough. If you show up and you're having a bad night, you're like, you know what, you're going tonight. So,
Yeah.
that is huge. That's Allegheny does that with their goalies too. They let them go out, warm ups, they try it out, and I'm just always like, oh boy, it's I could see goalies duking it out in the hallway back there, especially in the Can-Am. Those guys get a little crazy.
My number one advice is tell your goalies before the day of. Don't make them show up and tell them when they show up, who's playing where. That's that'll kill a goalie room in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So I mean, when you guys practice, you guys consistently have 4 goalies that show up, though. I mean, that's got to be amazing for your shooters.
No, so it varies. Tonight we only had 2, but again,
You always have at least 2. That's huge. Yeah,
2,
only had 2. Most people would kill to have 2 goalies on some of these nights.
No, and they're really good about it. It was honestly tough to prepare for initially because we've never had 4 goalies. So what to do with them, dividing up, we were low on numbers one night for runners, but we had 4 goalies. So they were like 25% of who showed up. And so we actually shorted them on reps ultimately because we just did not have enough, numbers to shoot, go around. But, yeah, it's a blessing to have, especially, having the guys we have that are willing to work with each other and put their egos aside because, again, especially Teddy and Joe Evans coached Teddy Stratelski literally growing, as he was coming up playing box, and now he's been our number 1 guy for a few years. So Joe coming back, competing with him, and Con coming up and having a great year this year too has been something else. So good problem to have, and the management, again, they've been doing an amazing job handling it. So makes my job easier.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Joe Evans is a legend in the U.S. box lacrosse community. For those new to the sport, this is a big name.
Yeah. We're very blessed to have him. He's an amazing guy. Helps our locker room so much. And anytime you can get that, where we can get a lot of good, smart minds, especially in our locker room where we have a lot of young guys that only have a few years playing box, where they're jumping on, those nuances that you really don't learn until late in your career. It helps having guys like him around help out. So
kind of point things out, and yeah, no, that is that's huge. there's something about the perspective of a goalie too, because they're watching from both angles. So even when they're giving advice, it's not like somebody else who plays offense or defense. You're literally getting it from the guy who you either, if you're a defenseman, want to make happy and make sure he's getting the shots that he wants, and you kind of work it out that way. And if you're playing against him, you're like, okay, what is the goalie thinking as I'm coming in? So no, that is such a huge advantage to have.
Big time.
Yeah. No, it really, I think I always say it. The goalie's the most underrated position. You get a hot goalie, and there's few things that can stop him. You guys play home and homes, then you go to nationals, and it's a marathon tournament. How does your team? Basically, do you consider that in the build of your nationals, or is it just something you take the best athletes you got, and that's what you're running with?
For us, it's last year was lucky being in Utica, where a lot of guys were able to make the trip.
How far are you guys from Utica? Not very far, right?
For 4.5, 5 hours. It's a straight shot, so
Yeah.
it's not too bad. But I don't know how that's going to be in comparison if we do make it out to Milwaukee. What that's going to look like? On paper, we have a lot of response to saying they're committed, but when if it actually happens,
Plane tickets.
Yeah.
We had 7 offensive guys going into the weekend last year and came out with 3, I believe.
Yeah.
It don't count your chickens ever in this sport.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, with everybody having full-time jobs, half these guys having kids, it doesn't take much for all of a sudden something to happen, and next thing you know, you can't make it.
Yeah, so the beauty for us, with the growth we've had, we understand their commitments, but it allows us to put a little bit more pressure on, like, realistically, what are you available to make? What can you commit to? And we try and shape our roster around that a lot. It's like, ultimately, we'd love to win regular season games and be competitive, but if you're not available for those regional playoffs and nationals, it doesn't really make sense for us
have you in there. Yeah,
to really invest us where we can give your spot to someone that can make that. And we believe in that. Building that chemistry goes a long way, especially when we have a lot of young green athletes that kind of plays a factor for us. So
it's all about getting reps on the floor, and you want to peak at the right time. Yeah,
exactly.
Peaking early doesn't help you, and if you show up with a bunch of all-stars that can't make it in the finals, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's one of the biggest things. Yeah, no, it's you could have a completely undefeated season, and then all of a sudden your goalie doesn't make it to nationals, or the guy who leads your offense can't make it, and all of a sudden it's like, what happened? Chemistry is huge. It's something I noticed more watching the Can-Am, like those kids that have been playing together for 30 years. You can't replicate that. So I mean, yeah. So your guys, do you have? Is it a group of guys that, like you said, your core's been strong? Have you guys been playing together since you were real little, or did it start in like college? You guys all met?
No. So I mean, in terms of this team, I'd say there's about 10 to 12 guys that have been part of the club since 2018. Now, that number, their commitment level has changed slightly, where they're not making as much, but they're still part of the program and they are available. So we'll keep them around, obviously, for the roster. We have that family mantra, if you will, in our club. Like, we want those guys around that help build it. And we're not going to just wash them out with young talent. So we keep them around and grow off of that, build off of it. And so, yeah, it's a matter, it's finding that balance with who we have. And as far as it goes, yeah, we've been playing, a third of our team's been playing for the last 7 years or so together. So it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's sweet. That's huge. Dave, this is, I guess, a question for you. As you're talking about how you guys are really replacing your numbers. How do you replace that chemistry? One night a week doesn't seem like enough.
No, we'd always talk about the 3 pillars of men's league. You got to be good at lacrosse, but that might be the least important one. You got to be a good guy, and you got to show up to things. And that's not just showing up to the game, showing up to practice. It's when we have we go out for a drink after the game. Like you gotta, if you don't have to have a beer, but come have a Coca-Cola. Like sit down for one drink, go, make your way home. Your wife might get mad at you, but she's not gonna leave you. It'll be fine. It's important to us, and we what you said about being a good club, I think really resonated with me. We've said for a long time we're a club first, we're a team second. Like we had players who had their dad pass away recently, and he, whether or not he was going to be there, we had a spot for him. Like if we're not the type of team that shows up in that type of moment, then who are we? You know, and what are we doing here? And that's always been really important to me. It's always been really important to our guys, and that sort of stuff is just infectious. When it once a week might not sound like enough, but it adds up quick. You see small actions, and that adds up to the guys knowing, especially when they're young. Like we got a bunch of college kids stepping in who may have not seen this before, or might like they've been the cool kid on campus for however long. Then they went and became a freshman. That's probably a new experience for them. But still, like I remember first time I ever played senior A up in Canada. Like stepping into a locker room with grown men who have responsibilities and people to answer to, was different than playing junior lacrosse. Junior lacrosse, most fun time I ever had in my life. But
yeah, no responsibility for the most part. Everybody's just out there having a good time. There's no such thing as tomorrow. That sounds exciting.
I was legally not allowed to work in the country, so what else did I have to do? A lot of par 3 golf and meeting up at the box with the boys. But I think it's an impressionable age to kind of show these kids, for lack of a better term, what to do, how to act, and who to be. And it's always been really important to who we are as a team.
Yeah. Yeah, so like you said, it does add up quick. One time a week doesn't seem like a lot, but especially after a couple of years. But if you have guys that are hanging out more, it adds up fast. I mean, that's the one thing is I will always say, like Nate up in Thousand Islands, they are a event. Like when they come, they've got a crazy fan base that travels. He's built a lot of emotion up there and a lot of excitement. It's really cool. Paul's done a lot of that with the Yeti as well, and that's what makes it exciting. Like everybody's got different things. I'm a big fan of the home and home. Some of these guys, like other leagues, don't. So like I'm really excited. Like the Golden Bears, how long can they stay undefeated? They haven't made it out of that division yet. We obviously know the Wild. They play each other quick. They play in one arena. Everybody plays, I think 1 night a week, 2 nights a week they go down and play. It's a very different.
Thursday nights, tomorrow night, Golden Bears and Wild. That'll be a good game.
All right, so tomorrow night, let's we might as well get into this power ranking, I guess. I didn't really look because I didn't want to cheat. So number 10, we've got the Long Island Sharks. Supposedly this is college football style, so it's going strength of schedule. It doesn't matter just what your record is. Basically, for the most shit talking available, we're just kind of going for that. Is my understanding of how we're picking this. So the Long Island Sharks, that being said, are right there at number 10. So congratulations to them.
A 15-13 win over the Warhawks.
Oh, see, so that's a big win for them, and they just came in last year, second-year team. So this is the Ohio Coyotes, right? 9.
Yeah, Ohio.
Oh.
They went out to Fort Wayne, which is a BLL team. They hosted a weekend kind of crossover games. A few teams showed up out there. Looks like they beat the Fort Wayne Rivermen 20-12, and the South Bend Shamrocks 20-5.
Yeah, so that's impressive. They have not made it out of their division either. So when they play the Grizzlies, it'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. Same with the Hooligans. That's another same division, right?
Yeah, I was on with the Hooligans last year. I think I think that division could get really competitive. I think we're seeing a lot of these divisions starting to get competitive.
The
which is good to
parity,
see.
yeah, it's huge. It really makes it for a better nationals too when you don't know the same teams coming out every year. The parity in these leagues is what makes it exciting. I think it won't be long before every division's kind of like your guys, the New England division, where really we've had a different team every year come to nationals, and it doesn't seem. Yes, you guys are sitting undefeated now, but I don't think anybody's quite ready to crown you guys with the achievement. Speaking of which, here's the Detroit Hooligans. So yeah, excited to see they're in the top. I do love it. Please talk smack in the comments, although I can't keep up with the comments. You guys really went to town there. So congratulations, everybody. Spirits number 7. So this is interesting to me because so if the Spirits are 7, they lost to the Riverhawks, but they beat the Lakers pretty handily. Then I seen the Lakers team show up the next night, and you talk about men's league having some different rosters. It was a very different team that was there for the second night for the Lakers playing the Serpents. I will say it was a huge difference. I don't know. Nate has done a really good job. He's brought in a lot of young, fast guys. Like when you thought of their team before, they were bigger, physical. They had some great goal scorers. He's got some fast kids, and they've still got that edge to them. I forgot the kid's name, and I feel bad. Zero for them. That kid he's a firecracker out there. If he's one of those guys, if he's on your team, you're gonna love him. If he's playing against you, you're like, wow, he's such a little peckerhead. But like he is just out there, tenacious. He's got good enough hands that he get up the floor and score. But like nonstop energy for days. My favorite type of player. Okay, so the Riverhawks are 6. I was wondering how this was gonna pan out because they did beat them. Oswego, and then they just lost to Oneida, but Oneida's also, it's all over the place. The Everett Express, so making their debut into the top 5. These guys were out with you, right?
Yeah, that's right. I actually live in Everett. The arena's about 5 minutes from my house driving. So
So you traveled past Everett to play for the Seattle Kings?
well, we don't have an arena in Seattle right now. We share an arena in Everett. We just got our hockey boom, so with the Kraken coming out here. So the hope is that bubble bursts a little bit and they start melting some sheets of ice. But so far, not a lot of traction. There's a few indoor soccer arenas in Seattle, but we used to run pickup games out of there. It was $5 a person. Half the people wouldn't pay, and then there started to be fights, and they got sick of us. So it hasn't really worked out for us in Seattle. I'm hopeful. I know the NLL is talking about expansions, and Seattle's one of the targeted areas. If they can get out there, I think we've got a better chance of making something happen. So
Speaking
we'll
of which,
see
maybe the Nighthawks, because they're looking for something. I think they're looking for magic. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know. The economy in New York is not amazing. Maybe. Hopefully, it's not too late. I didn't realize it was the same people that own the Bandits. So those guys have stepped up. They own the Sabres. They own the Nighthawks. So thank you very much. But I also understand if they got to get rid of one of them. Maybe you'll get it.
I've been flipping through the upstate division games, and it's just it's like the Pac-12 back in the day where everybody would beat everybody. It's tough to make sense of who's where. The Riverhawks lost to the Yetis, who lost to Paper City, who lost to
there's no S on the Yeti out east.
Islands.
Paul told me no matter if there's a million of them, there's no S ever on the end of it. I do have to laugh because he grammatically corrects me on that, and Paul can't pronounce anybody's name. It's like, really, Paul? But he actually did say that he looked it up once, so I got to believe him. But, yeah, so the Yeti, no, it's all over the place. The parody of this has been absolutely amazing. Super. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, real quick. Another big shout out to Everett. They've really been putting in the work, and yeah, they rightfully belong up here. They're a great team. Google's telling me that it's Yetis. I'm just saying.
It would make sense. I'm not. That's why I said I'm telling you what Paul said. I never. I know he said he looked it up. I've never looked into it. I just believe Paul. Whenever he tells me something, I'm like, yeah, sure, it's got to be true. Hasn't steered me wrong yet.
Reddit says Yeti, so who knows?
That's Paul. Must be more of a Reddit guy. Oak City Owls, and this one we were talking about. So Charlotte, super athletic team. They've been able to come out every year. So kudos to the Owls for getting it together this year and running the show down there. Yeah, what are they? 4-0. Yeah. 4-0. I would imagine they've played everybody. So, have you ever played the Owls, Mike? Have you ever played any of the teams that aren't in your division? like with these exhibitions or at tournaments?
The Spirit Collar City, we played the Austin Scorpions once. That was all at nationals. We haven't any exhibitions or anything outside of that. We haven't put in an official Nor'easters team in.
Gotcha. I didn't know if you guys had like a unofficial team that you all traveled with, so you went to like Nashville and played against the Ignite, or
We had guys that will run with like the Moon Bears at Laxnai and stuff like that, but nothing official with or unofficial official with the Nor'easters.
so
We're
yeah.
thinking about it though. We would love to. We're definitely trending in that direction.
Yeah, I happen to know the guy that runs Laxnai. I would definitely recommend that tournament. We'll be there streaming it if you can make it to the gold medal floor. Yeah, we got some wireless cameras now on the GoPros. I'm excited. It's we've had a lot of fun this year getting things up. And I laugh at the comments in there about the the backdoor bandits. I don't know if that refers to Allegheny or Newtown because they both have 3-3.
That's a Minnesota house league team.
Okay.
I think shoot, is it McKinney? Who's the transition player for
Will McKinney?
Will McKinney.
Okay.
McKinney's a backdoor bandit, I believe. If I've been keeping up with the lore.
That's not something you should just throw out there, I think.
Hey, there's videos out there. It's not just me.
Oh, that's amazing. All right. So, anyways, what team? We were on the Oakville Owls. Yeah. Anybody? Oh, so we're 41 minutes into this. Perfect. All right. So the Oak City Owls. Congratulations to them running it down there, making progress. It's huge. And Cambridge Nor'easters. Although now you guys are you still technically the Cambridge? Or I've seen some.
No, we rebranded. We're Boston now because we haven't played in Cambridge in about 6 years. 5-6 years. So we had to get rid of the Cambridge, and we've kind of bounced around Boston. So we figured we just adopt that. It might be a little bit easier.
Yeah,
we'll have to get an updated logo on the website.
Yeah, we rebranded everything. That was tough to put on uniforms sometimes. So
yeah,
it works out now.
I just noticed when I was searching you because I kept not seeing Cambridge, and I was like, I'm like 90% sure that's what their jerseys looked like. So I'm going to run with that when we first started talking. And second, the Minneapolis Wheat Kings, probably number one in the social media game. I don't know if anybody talks as much crap as he does, as well as he does. Like that, he's just got a certain type of level, and he's always got a smile on his face while he's doing it. So, yeah, shout out.
Kings of the Wheat.
Kings of the Wheat.
Yep.
Yeah, they love it. I don't know. I would like to see somebody challenge him with the social media game. I'm hoping this year some smack talk because he gets me rolling to the point that, or even like Charity will come and be like, hey, you got to see what he posted. So
I have no idea how he has the time. I think he's playing up in Alberta or somewhere in Canada. He's flying up from Austin, I think, to.
That's right. I forgot Midbo lives in Austin now.
Yeah, so I don't know what he's doing to make it happen, but it's impressive.
Yeah, see, and there's the cult, Wheat Kings, the true kings. That's that explains a lot. He does really like Midbo has a cult of minions that follow him around.
Their locker room was really impressive during nationals last year. It was there was always noise coming from it. They were fun to watch.
Yeah, no, they are. We'll give them one more shout out. And I think we all know who number one is. It better be anyways. If not, okay. I was going to say, if the Westminster Wild are not number one in the power rankings, I will have a problem with that. Until somebody beats them, they're number one in my book. And even if somebody beats them in the division, unless they don't make nationals, I'm still putting them in number one. Like they just seem to make their way through it. That game, man, that finals game was good too last year.
It's why Tony Gray's not on the podcast today. He's out there watching film, prepping for tomorrow night.
Prepping for tomorrow, getting ready. Okay, that makes sense. Tony was like, "Yeah, I need to take the." It's a Senate. Oh my goodness, no one has more fun than us. No, you guys might be right. The King's culture. You guys do take over. It's called right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Midbo has got quite the cult down there with all of his guys. It's impressive how he does it. So you guys have been part of the NABLL since its inception. What's one thing that you guys have noticed, like that the league has really changed, like since the first year you got in, or has really everything been so smooth that it's like it just kind of flows?
Want to go, Mike?
Yeah, they're definitely trending in the right direction with how they're doing everything on the back end. How nationals was last year, how they're planning for it this year. They're a step ahead every year, organization wise, and the communication with each club has gotten a lot better over the last couple of years. So that's where I see it. And then obviously just the growth overall as far as talent from division to division, and overall competition level has grown tremendously.
Yeah, speaking of which, teams, fill out your stats. Please fill out your stats. I thought I threw the leaders in there. I will as soon as Dave's done talking, because please fill out your stats. I do take the time to clip them ahead of time. Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, not at all. I think the IQ of the league has just risen. The first year we were I can't even remember on so many nationals. I don't remember where it was. The 100% save percentage. Way to go, Tom. The Ross Bucktooth. I used to play with him too. We would have delayed penalties and goalies not even flinching, and I think that would be enough to make you not make nationals anymore. Like it's tough to get here. All these teams are building, and it gets better year after year. It's fun to watch. I mean, the Wild staying on top. All these kings in the chat, weak kings in the chat, I'm sure chomping at the bit for another chance at them. But they keep getting better, and so does everyone else. It's fun to watch. It's coming along. We're getting better and better in this country.
Yes, we are. I do love the chat. The Wheat Kings do add a level to that. I'm really hoping that they're able to make it back, because the Midbow and the cult is very entertaining. No matter what you think about Wheat Kings lacrosse, you have to enjoy the cult. It's a very entertaining cult. It's impressive, really. It is just so much fun every time you see them. They're smiling. I wish I had my Wheat Kings cup, but unfortunately, it's in the dishwasher, so didn't make it out for the show tonight. But if everybody fills out their stats, we get to look at the 100% save percentage, which we saw already. So right now you've got Zach Blount. He was a Tuscarora, played for Randy Chrysler guy, and now Paddleford. I don't want to butcher that guy's name. Anybody want to take a stab at it? Chitala? Maybe.
I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I think you nailed it.
All right. Lampron and Chase Kogan. Chase is
a good player.
Chase is, he's a freak when it comes to lacrosse. He is just absolutely insane. Gage Stevens, another guy. So Roscoe Bucktooth, he just came back last year, was playing for Onondaga. Super excited to see him out there. I think he played the first half against the Eddy. They had one quarter. The Eddy just lost to Oneida. I think it was a 10-0 run. Hard to make it up. You ain't making up a 10-0 run, especially against a team like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so Dave Holding, that is Dave that started everything up there, right? That's the one everybody talks about. He's the only goalie older than Deej in the league, or at least Deej's age. But Deej doesn't have a team anymore, so Dave, you have surpassed him. You now comfortably have the oldest goalie position. Mario Diaz.
Oh, you're talking to me for a minute. I got scared.
Sorry, different Dave. Yeah, you got a few more years on that one. Actually, you got a couple decades before you catch up to those guys.
Right.
So.
Right.
If I was you, I would just hope I could play as long as those guys. Cam Pylon, he's one of those guys, can absolutely turn around a game. Guttatussin, Horn David, same thing. Sean, do you know him? He's out in yours, right?
Medeiros, yeah, we just played against him last week. He's a good goalie. I mean, I think we had like 75, 80 shots of that on him in last game, and he only let up 15. So
yeah,
one of those boys, very active in net. He, and he was on, and when he's on, he's a hell of a goalie.
Yeah, so that's 73 shots if you guys scored 15. So yeah, if that's the only game he played, 58 saves. That's impressive. Anytime your goalie gets 60 saves in a game, that's pretty impressive. Oh my goodness! Someone show the trees, right? Yeah. I try to keep up with the comments. I just can't keep up with it. Assists, we've got Blount again, coming out of Buffalo. Chris Ryan, Chase Cogan, probably Tall Bruno. That's a pretty cool name, Tall Bruno. I'd run with it. Maxwell Schlig and Sam Schaefer, Luke Eckerbauer. Or Eckbauer? I'm going to go with Eckbauer. We just need Paul on to pronounce it. That would make everything better. And goals. This one is always going to be I don't know. It's always going to be a battle. This is the only one anybody really cares about, I guess, is who's got the most. So good thing we learned how to pronounce Chintala, because if not, we wouldn't have been able to say he's leading it with 17. Now, your offense do you guys have a very spread offense? You're getting 2-3 goals a game, or do you guys have a couple guys getting sock tricks up in Boston, or over in Boston for me?
We have, I think, probably 5 or 6 guys that get 3 or 4 goals a game on average. And so it's pretty spread out, balanced. But then we have a lot of our transition guys. They're the ones that make the difference, where, a few of them are bound to have a hat trick. Our last game, Will Palmer, who's traditionally a defenseman, had 5 goals against Rhode Island. So it's like, we have guys like that that'll, if the offense isn't really, scoring, we're finding other ways to, create opportunity and capitalize.
Next man up mentality.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that is huge, especially in these. I don't know, you always expect your offense to get 5, 6, 7 goals, and really those the difference, especially when you look at most of the NLL games, is traditionally do you get 3 transition goals or 5 transition goals? That's and that's what's going to win you the game. Yeah, I'm now kind of looking at the chat. We've got some hearts going, and yes, it's very entertaining. I wondered who sent the hearts. That might be Charity out there, or it might be some Wheat Kings.
Jeremy Goltz is sending the love.
He's sending the love. Okay, I love it. Hope Dave can see the heart. Yes, we can see the hearts. We appreciate it. I wonder if I click chat, though, if that shows the hearts. It does. Look at all the hearts flying. They are sending all kinds of love your way, Dave. So, Dave, as a board member, what is something you've really noticed? League One, now you're going into your 4th year.
That's a good question. I think we're growing across the board. The referees are getting better. The league's getting better. I really think we need to come up with an AB model. Not like a CLA AB where it's fully separated yet. One day I think we'll get there, but there has to be space for more of these teams to find value in the league, to get outside of their region where a lot of teams are getting their butts kicked, and get competitive. You learn a lot by going to nationals. I'm sure Michael saw it last year. I was hoping they were going to be stumbling out the gates being first time at nationals. That did not happen. But
they had the exact opposite. Actually, started very, very well for them.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the direction we have to go, and I think we're going to find it soon. I've been saying that for a couple of years, so it's coming though. I promise.
Well, yeah, not every team has, a senior A and senior B team like the Nor'easters have. That would be amazing if they did, because then it'd be easy. You could just send your A and your B. Then you'd have guys arguing over who was on the B roster, and guys are loading up their B roster, and it'll be fun. I'm sure there'll be some politics when it comes to that. It never seems to end. The smack talking. He just stopped pushing the hearts. I figured he had him like laid on there. I kept seeing him out of the corner of my eye. They stopped him. I'm a little disappointed in you guys. Yeah. Yes, you could actually make so if enough guys join, I will make a Wheat Kings crown emoji for Blue Squatch, because part of being monetized on YouTube is you can make custom emojis. So if we can get like 4 or 5 Wheat Kings members, Blue Squatch will have one. We'll throw Wheat Kings things out there. Just make sure when you join, you tell us, we joined because the Wheat Kings are, we're part of Midbow's Cult. If you put Midbow's Cult in the comments, I'll know that's why you joined. You're part of Midbow's Cult. But going into nationals this year, how did we decide on Wisconsin?
It's a really limited number of places that fit our list.
Center of the country.
We kind of try to go between Eastern time zone and Central time zone. I beg every year for one time it be played in the Pacific, so we don't have to play 8 a.m. games for our semifinals.
I might need a week to adjust, though. It's like when I text you. Thankfully, you know what real time is because I just tell everybody. What time? Well, my time zone is the only one that matters, so it's 9 p.m. real time.
I was ready. I was ready at 5 o'clock too, just in case I had it wrong. But they're really ready to work with us. What on the list is showers, locker rooms, that type of things. It won't be as fancy and nice as Utica. Have everyone having their own locker room for the entire weekend, but one day maybe. We can't be in Utica, New York every year. I don't think I could convince my team to show up there for I don't know if I could convince them twice in a row. But I think it's a good facility. Major airports. I mean, you can fly to Chicago if you want a real cheap flight. It's only an hour and a half drive from there. The airport's north of the city, anyways. It should be fun. I'm speaking of Midbow Senators, they're driving over. I'm expecting a lot out of them this year. I think they're going to show up well. I mean, they showed up well last year all the way in Utica too, but maybe some hometown fans coming over. I think they got those dates circled already. Not to disrespect the Isotopes or anyone else in that Midwest division, but I'm sure they're really excited about it.
It appears to be. If they just bring half the excitement they're bringing to the chat and to the Nationals, we should be doing pretty good. I got it. So, Mike, as a GM, what did you find is the biggest thing that you didn't think about, or did you come into this, kind of being organized and having the experience doing it before?
No, I helped with Ryan. Mostly ran the team. I helped on the back end, so I was familiar with a lot of the things he was doing, and he sort of passed it off. But I, am surrounded by a group of guys that are supporting me in different capacities. So I'm doing very little, to be honest. Like I help with, game day. I do have like 4 or 5 guys that help with the marketing, help with, making sure that we're paying the venues, the referees, things like that.
You're a facilitator. You're good at bringing
I'm
guys in and finding
sure
what
things are in order, but I'm not doing much. I have guys that are doing a lot of amazing stuff for us and really contributing to our growth. So we would not be in the situation if it wasn't for them. So that's good. And, big challenge that is ultimately how do we take 2 weeks after our regionals and fly somewhere to nationals? Like last year, going to Utica, not too bad. This year, it's figuring out, how can we get the majority of our guys on a flight if we make it out there? And it's not guaranteed. So thinking about things like that, staying ahead and having plans in place is always good. But for the most part, we have a system that's pretty down. So it's preparing for things that we're not too sure on yet. And ultimately that would be nationals.
Yeah, no, and in your division, you guys. So actually, like Dave said earlier, though, basically every division has had the same people come out of it, with the exception of your division's had, a different team every year. And that's the only division that's had it. So the Upstate had the Yeti went the first year, Spirits went the next 2 years. But yeah, the parity in your division is pretty legendary, and it seems like it's kind of caught up in the other divisions, the Upstate, East, and West. Everybody's taking turns kicking each other's butts out there, so it'll be interesting. The Everett Express is on a tear this year, so obviously Dave doesn't know for sure if he's coming out, other than he might just be coming out as a board member. But when is your first game against the Everett Express?
This weekend, Saturday at 1 p.m.
So your opener is against them?
Yeah, they are actually an affiliate team, so they're not eligible to go to
Oh, I forgot about that.
They're heading to Prague in September, which is keeping them away from wanting to compete at that. But we do a rivalry trophy with them every year, anyways. The Anchors, which will be fun. We hold them right now, and we're going to try to keep them this year, though. So so the affiliate program doesn't make as much of an impact as some people might think.
Yeah. I am just loving the chat that, if we had our guys, everybody travels. Yeah, they do travel well. They can definitely talk some smack on that because I don't know if any team, although really when you talk about the Wild have brought their team every year in 3 years straight, and they've brought a full team, so they travel pretty well as well. So it'll be interesting to see. This has been over an hour so far, and it has been a blast. Thanks so much, everybody in the comments. Mike, where is the most active place for people to follow you? Are you guys Instagram, Facebook, Twitter? What's
Yeah, Instagram's the best one. At Nor'easters Lacrosse. I think that's what it is. We've changed it a few times to be honest, but at Nor'easters, yeah, follow us on there. We have Con, one of our goalies, who is heading up our marketing, and he's doing a heck of a job being a social media presence. Hopefully, we get up to where the Wheat Kings are at with Midbow, but baby steps. So it's good.
Absolutely. I am laughing now. They're talking about which tournament's bigger, overseas. Are you going to play in the Herbeski or what are you going over there for? So, yeah, typical. I'm sorry, they're not we can't call them minions. They're not Midbow's minions. They're Midbow's senators, right? Is that what they prefer to be called? I guess is Midbow's senators. So I do like that. Dave, where is it? If anybody wants to get a hold of you, as far as so you are also in charge of the like the reffing, the coordination and stuff. So people, if they
Yes.
want to get a hold of you for that, the best way to do so is
Yeah, my email is coordinator@nabll.com. What you could really help me out with is send me game film. We have an initiative to get our referees evaluated virtually by world championship and NLL referees. We would love to get that used and help improve people. That's great. Let me know when things come up like suspensions and stuff like that. When there's fights, I gotta know stuff. So please keep me in the loop when all sorts of stuff comes up. Where we can only go as far as the stats and the videos show us. So there's a lot of stuff that's tough to keep eyes on. But yeah, keep reaching out to me for that. Our Instagram is seattle.kings if you're looking for our lacrosse team. And yeah, looking forward to the season kicking off this week.
absolutely. All right, thanks so much, everybody. Next week we are going to be featuring the NABLL juniors teams, which hopefully will have the Nor'easters in it. We'll talk to or not this year, but next year. We'll talk to everybody next week. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah.